I got into Marvel as a kid, going to comic book shops. I was really big on X-Men and all of the offshoots, like X-Factor and Wolverine.
I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be that guy to say this. I like Ryan Coogler, and I think that they should have given him the Blade movie instead of shopping it around to all these other people. We probably would have had a Blade movie or at least a script by now. But I don't think he should do the X-Men.
What?
Let's talk about it. What is up, YouTube? My name is Mario, aka the Real Super Mario. Check out the main channel because the main channel is popping, aka the Loot Box Hero, aka YouTube's greatest fat man here, bringing you another video. All right, so we have an interesting video for you today. You heard at the beginning. All right, you know, now that we got all of the people that are just gonna call me various versions of a sentient raccoon out of the way, we can actually just talk about the subject matter. In an article that came up recently, it was talking about how Marvel Studios wanted Ryan Coogler to do the X-Men, and a lot of people believe that, you know, the interview they did for him with for the Ironheart show was kind of like a way of kind of finagling him into kind of doing the X-Men, or kind of like putting out feelers to see if people would like him to do the X-Men. And a lot of people want him to do the X-Men because, I mean, you know, Ryan Coogler, he did Black Panther, you know, he's done a lot of superhero type stuff, you know, a lot of racial stuff, and of course the racial stuff and the X-Men kind of go hand in hand because for the last, 10, 15 years, the X-Men have been like a racial allegory, so having Ryan Coogler do it would be perfect. I'm gonna say nay on that one. I'm not 100% sure. There's nothing about Ryan Coogler personally. I think he's probably one of the best black creators we have right now. But I don't think he should do the X-Men, and I'm kind of going to why. You know, of course, if you want to continue getting videos like this from me, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell button, do all that good stuff that YouTube requires you to do to continue getting videos from me. All right, so let's get into the article. Marvel Studios wanted Ryan Coogler to direct the X-Men movie, a report from Kevin Felt. So it says, according to the new report, Marvel Studios looked into bringing Black Panther director Ryan Coogler to helm an X-Men movie. Coogler is known for his work on the two Black Panther movies for Marvel Studios. He also did Creed, Fruitvale Station, and the critically acclaimed vampire blockbuster Sinners, which I am going to do a video about. I haven't watched it yet, but from the things I've heard, like, there's some things we had to talk about. It should be pretty interesting, though. So while it was revealed that the Thunderbolts director Jake Schreier may take the wheel from Marvel Studios' stab at the X-Men film, that may not have always been the case. Insider Jeff Schneider said he heard Ryan Coogler was once in the running. This comes as rumors about the MCU's take on the Marvelous Mutant team begin to swirl online, including news of potential casting, plot details, movie when the movie actually may release. So yeah, I've heard the details. I've heard people say that, you know, that Denzel's gonna be Magneto, which I don't know how I feel about that. I personally, I think if you really want to race swap somebody, Denzel should probably be freaking Norman Osborn. All right, to do a different take on Norman. I mean, if you really must race swap somebody, but yeah, I've heard a bunch of different details. But as far as why I don't want Ryan Coogler to do it, is because I want a different take on the X-Men. Right now, the X-Men's main thing is kind of like being a racial allegory. And I don't think the racial allegory really works anymore. So right now, the racial allegory when it comes to the X-Men kind of goes like this. So you've got the humans and you got the X-Men. Now the humans hate the X-Men or the mutants in general because they are different. All right? Kind of like the way, you know, white people hate black people and then black people hate white people because they're different. That's kind of the dynamic. There's more to it than that because, of course, Magneto is a mutant who, you know, isn't a good guy, mainly because, you know, of the links that he wants to go to fight the humans, and the humans, they're not seen as good people because of the links they would go to get rid of the mutants because they hate them. And this is kind of the dynamic. Now, this dynamic doesn't necessarily work because the basis of the hate that the humans have for the mutants doesn't make sense. All right, you can't just say, "Oh, well, they're different." Like, okay, that worked at one point, but different and better are two different things. All right, because like black people and white people don't like each other mainly because of differences both physically and culturally. All right, skin color, cultural differences, all that kind of stuff, right? But black people and white people are not better than each other, contrary to popular belief on each side. All right, they're not like black people aren't better than white people and white people aren't better than black people. But mutants are very much better than humans, which is why this dichotomy doesn't really make sense, or why this, this kind of racial analogy doesn't make sense anymore. All right, because mutants are better than people. There's a valid reason why humans should dislike mutants. Now, the problem is the lengths that humans would go to because of this hate is the problem. That's what makes the humans, or what should make the humans, the bad guys in an X-Men scenario. All right, but that's more than likely not what they're going to do if they go with Ryan Coogler. They're going to go with the black-white racial situation. Imagine an X-Men story where they didn't do the racial allegory, where instead of it being just like humans hate mutants because they're different, imagine if they really did like hate mutants because the mutants were better than them. Because imagine looking at, your replacement. Okay, imagine if you got hired at a job. If you were at a job and somebody else gets hired in and they tell you that, you're being let go in 2 weeks. And now you've got to coexist with the person that's going to replace you in 2 weeks. It's pretty hard pill to swallow. Imagine that on a grander scale. Because whenever the humans look at the mutants, they should see obsolescence. Okay, all right, because humans to mutants are like the iPhone 13 to the iPhone 14. All right, and every time they look at the mutants, they should know that they're going to be in the junk drawer of evolutionary history at some point. They're looking at their replacements. All right, and that makes it a very different dynamic, because even though like the humans are still going to be the bad guys because of the lengths they're going to go to try to get at the mutants or try to stop the mutants or destroy them, but they actually have a reason to actually dislike them just beyond their differences. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, wait a minute, the humans kind of have a point, but they're just going about it the wrong way. And some of those are some of the best villains. And really, if you think about it, Ryan Coogler kind of did this already with Killmonger. All right, where Killmonger, he had a point, but the way he was going about it was just the wrong way.
These items aren't for sale.
How do you think your ancestors got these? You think they paid a fair price? Or did they take it like they took everything else?
Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
You got all this security in here watching me ever since I walked in, but you ain't checking for what you put in your body.
All right, mate, let's have it. Come on, mate, time.
I think she might not be feeling too good.
So in hindsight, Ryan Coogler could do an X-Men movie, but I don't feel like he's gonna go that route. I feel like he's gonna go the route that X-Men have already been traveled. But this route is so much better though, because you can create better villains by giving them a reason to dislike the mutants, but just making them do all the wrong things. And it also kind of parallels Magneto, because Magneto is doing the same thing. Magneto has a point.
What must we do to be good enough? Is this the high road's destination? If so, I say, as I have too many times before, never again.
When it comes to like, oh, well, the humans, they hate us, they want to destroy us. You know what I'm saying? And we need to do something about this. All right, he has a point, but he's going about it the wrong way too. There's so many different angles that you could do if you did something different with the X-Men, and I don't think they're gonna do it if they go with Ryan Coogler. But I think stepping away from the race allegory would be a really cool thing for the X-Men. Tell me what you think down below. Do you think Mario, you're wrong? Ryan Coogler would make a great X-Men movie. I don't know why you being such a sentient raccoon. Or You know what I'm saying? Do you kind of agree with me and think, all right, maybe they could go a different angle with the X-Men and use, you know what I'm saying? Tell me in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, people, keep it real.